Hey there, it is Phoenix Amore. So let me explain to people why I started taking control and putting the videos out again. It's because once you start kind of knowing how people like to label things, they like to label truth as gossip at times, right? But here's the thing that they needed to understand. That's not what my blog was ever going to be about. As you now see, as I'm putting the spiritual videos out, more and more, me having that dream about that IT staffer who was committing bank fraud and trying to escape the damn country, that was really God. Like, here it was again. Okay, mind you, I did not vote in the election. Mind you, I've already expressed to people that I consider myself more independent, right, in the middle of that scale, kind of going, I can see this and I can see that. But the key is God showing me that, because if you remember the dream about the snake moving the news around, I'm like, they always moving the news around. So they weren't going to share that. See, rather than them trying to give anybody any sort of validation because they've been so used to manipulating and lying so much, that's the whole thing when I talk about that veil breaking. Is God like, now she just told you something that you know happened and you were gonna hide it because they don't want to believe in God. Period. So when somebody long time ago said it's like Obama picked a war with God, I said he did. They still were ha. I'm like, no, for real, he did. And so the difference is when God moved out the way, that's the difference. It's not fighting with God. It's God saying, that's fine, I'm gonna leave you to all this other kind of crap that you're gonna have to deal with. So people more and more seeing what I was saying. I'm like, it's not a versus. I just put that discernment out there, and then that is what it is. But that was huge right there. Boom. For Fox to put it out there and say she picked up on that. It's huge to be able to look at that tornado from that aerial view and say she said strategic, right, placement. So me using terms where somebody can see and validate that damn tornado. He'll make his what? Like the winds. That tornado moved in the path to where it was avoiding the homes, but it made its presence known. You know what I'm saying with that right there. So all these things, when you have understand in the Bible, and it talks about these things where God will make his presence known, you got to still have people willing to accept that presence for what it is. But now we have people that pump out 10 and 15 articles trying to disprove something that people are looking like it's right there. So understanding when is somebody like me saying, if I say death, okay, that's what I mean. Now, natural disasters is something different. Natural disasters are the signs. They're saying you're going the wrong way again. And if you don't change the behavior, that's going to keep happening. It's just that simple, period. It's just like when you have a dog that you are trying to home train, right? The concept is you have to make sure you're staying consistent. God is the same way with people. And right now, the natural disasters are the signs like that hasn't been okay. When I talked about the scale being so tilted, I'm talking about the overly liberal people who had people sold on. And this is a beautiful thing that I want to express. I knew nothing about this Hillsong pastor. If you notice the pastors that I would bring up, Joel Osteen. Now, I picked white pastors purposely, and I think people understand why. It's not because I want to be white. It's simply where I'm knocking down that whole wall constantly, where it's always like you have to talk about black ministers or black pastors if you're black. I'm not do that. When I feel somebody has, guess what, a gift, it didn't matter. But purposely what I started doing was picking and associating and saying that about the white pastors. So you have some black people like, see, she want to be white. Then you have the smart black people who probably figured out, no, she's basically saying, I can't hear you always trying to plant seeds of racism when sometimes it's not there. So now seeing this other pastor from Hillsong, right, I'm laughing because I'm seeing a little bit of myself in this guy, right? He looks like he likes to have fun. So, but he's not overly liberal. So at the end of the day, it's kind of comical when you think about it, because now you got all these people like, you would think he's a stripper, right? Same thing I said about myself, right? Because of his physique, you would think the dude is a stripper, but he's not. He's a pastor. So now you have more people in the understanding that being religious or spiritual does not mean you have to be a fuddy-duddy. See, they try to sell you on that sometimes to keep people in lifestyles they don't have to live. They try to sell you that on religious or spiritual people are sticks in the mud. That's not the truth. That's why I talked about, right, playing pool and me saying I go to the gym, play basketball a little bit, And what else did I say? A dance. I said in my 3 and 4 inch heels, all the strippers went, oh, see, she like us. No, girlfriend, I'm in at a wedding with my clothes on. Still not judging you, but I think it's kind of one of those things where God was drawing everybody in to see, okay, who was going to just try to cross over. Now, when I mean cross over, I'm talking about that scale, right? So you had some people start crossing over a little quicker than what some of the overly liberal people thought. Imagine, again, what I said, the symbolism is like a seesaw where they were all sitting there and they were grounded, they're in control, right? All the conservative people were on the other side holding on, sliding down like, oh my God, please, I don't want to go all the way there. So finally, some people, we push back enough to where their seesaw is coming back so fast. Now the overly liberal people are like, they don't know how to react to not being in control. So you're going to have them start acting the fool. And that's another thing where I'm like, at the end of the day, you have some people that have come over to that other side. So thank God the conservative folks, we finally like, all right, we got this. So we're balancing out. That's what always was meant to happen. You guys have a very, very, very blessed day. Take care.